What's good, guys? It's me, Bobble, coming at you again with a deck profile. Today I'm going to be doing an update to my Pendulum Magician deck profile, but with a twist. You could call this a Pendulum Magician PePe deck, because we are utilizing PePe. But anyways, we're going to get right into it, starting off the main deck first. For our sorcerers, we are playing 3 Astrograph Sorcerer and 3 Chronograph Sorcerer. So what these two do is that their monster effects is that if a card is destroyed, Astrograph, you get to special summon. So if your card you control is destroyed, you get to special summon Astrograph or Chronograph, and then their separate effects trigger. Chronographs being able to special summon another monster from your hand, and Astrograph arguably being the better, being able to get you another copy of that card from your deck. So say if you destroy your Purple Poison Magician and then you chain Astrograph to his destruction, you get the special summon Astrograph and you get another Purple Poison Magician, which is really cool as well. And and also you get to banish them along with a Fusion Xyz, Synchro, and Pendulum Dragon in able to bring out Zark, but we're not actually playing Zark in this because I thought that he was really gimmicky. He was taking up extra deck space that I really wasn't seeing him that much. And then of course for their Pendulum effects, we are playing the 1 Stargazer and 1 Time Gazer Magicians. So if you don't know what Astrograph and Chronograph Sorcerer's Pendulum effects are, is that Astrographs is that you get to destroy him and then either special summon or set in scale Stargazer Magician, and Chronograph does the same thing except with Time Gazer Magician instead. Now Stargazer and Time Gazer Magician are pretty good because Time Gazer is when it's in the scale, when a Magician or an Odd Ice monster goes to attack, trap cards cannot be activated until the end of the damage step, and Stargazer basically does the same thing but with spell cards. So yeah, that's why we're playing the 3 sorcerers and the one-ofs. Like you could say that Time Gazer and Stargazer are both bricks, but you know they're there, and also they're more stuff to spam onto the field. Then we're playing for the other magicians 3 Double Iris, 3 Purple Poison. Let's move this over here. Yeah, 3 Black Fang Magician. Sorry if the lighting is really poor. You see, the place my desk is in is literally to the right of the light, and my head is fucking right there. And then we are actually playing, this is something a lot of you guys are gonna fucking hate, 2 Harmonizing Magician. Alright, so the reason why I am playing these 3 at 3 and harmonizing at 2. Now, I've cut harmonizing down to 1 is that 1, it's searchable by 2 cards in the deck, and if you want to get technical, it's technically searchable through 7 cards to the deck, or even 8, yeah 8, and also it can't be pendulum summoned from the extra deck, which really sucks, and it's kind of a brick to draw if you have nothing else. Have to put in scale effect kind of sucks. Double Iris arguably being the best one next to Purple Poison, because his scale effect is that you target a Dark Spellcaster, and you apply this effect, and it does double any battle damage that turn. But then you destroy Double Iris, but then when he's destroyed, his monster effect will kick in, which is going to add you one of your Pendulum Graph cards, which can be your Time Pendulum Graph or your Star Pendulum Graph. Purple Poison is also pretty good because you target, it's the same kind of thing with Double Iris, you target a Dark Spellcaster, but instead it gains 1200 attack, so you can make Big Eye, I believe it's 38, yeah, you can make Big Eye 38, and then have Double Iris double that, and then he gets destroyed, and then when Purple Poison destroys, monster effect will kick in, which is being able to pop another card on the field. So yeah. Then we also have Black Fang. When he's in your scale, you get to target a face-up attack position monster your opponent controls. You halve its attack and then destroy him, and then his monster effect will kick in, which is when it's destroyed, you get to special summon a Dark Spellcaster monster from your graveyard. Your graveyard part kind of sucks because you're not going to have that many things in your grave a lot of the time, and of course harmonizing all monsters you gain, all monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each face-up magician monster with a different name from your extra deck. And when it's pendulum summoned, you have to special summon another magician monster from your deck. There's no level restriction, except its effects are negated and it's banished when it leaves the field next. And if you go for a synchro summon with him or with her, you have to use another magician as a material. So yeah, she helps with plays, but she can break occasionally. So that's my reasoning. You guys can play it at free. This is just how I've been playing it, and it's really consistent. Pretty good power output. Then for the other magician, we are playing one Oath Dragon, the one White Wing, and the one Dragon Pulse. So these are all around pretty good cards. Dragon Pulse being really nice because it gets stuff to your grave for Black Fang Magician, and then you get the pop stuff. Oath Dragon being able to recycle your face-up Pendulum Magician monsters, and then White Wing just being another tuner for your deck. And its Pendulum scale effect is garbage, but you can still bring it out with Harmonizing Magician, which is good. Oh yeah, and also when Oath Dragon is normal special summoned, you get to target Magician in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So yeah. Now for the PePe part, which is 3 Joker, 2 Sorcerer, and 2 Luster Pendulum. So yeah, this is kind of the PePe engine, I like to call it, because you're playing parts from the PePe deck. As you've seen, there we are playing no Wisdom Eye Magician. This is because 1, I do not have Wisdom Eye Magician. 2, I do not like Wisdom Eye Magician. I think he's a sacky card. I just think that there are cooler cards to play than him. Like all he is extra of your other monsters, and he's just another thing to get into your zone. But that's Luster as well, because okay. So but anyways, before I start ranting, 3 Joker, he's really good. He's your Stratos of the deck on normal. On normal summon, you get to add a Performance Power monster from your a Performance Power or Magician or an Odd Ice monster, except Joker. And this other scale effect is that you can't special summon, you can't pendulum summon monsters except for Performance Power or Magicians, but you're never going to use that. And then Sorcerer, you can arguably bump him up to 3. I mean, that would be fine. I can understand why you do that, because he does add consistency a lot of the time. Because when he's special summoned, you get to target up to 2 cards you control. They don't have to be in your scale, so you can pop your other stuff that you pendulum summoned, like your Black Fang and what's his name, Double Iris and Purple Poison. You have to pop them as well, and then you get to add Performance Power monsters from your deck up to the number that you destroyed, but you only have the 1 target, so of course you're only popping 1. And the scale effect is that if a Performance Power monster is pendulum summoned to your field, all Performance Power monsters you currently gain 1,000 attack to the end of the turn, even to Cully's field. Now Luster, I honestly think this is the MVP of the deck. Not to mention it's searchable, we'll go into that later. But of course, it cannot be used for a Fusion Synchro or a Z Summon. You can discard except the monsters Draco Slayer. So yeah, but you know, we're playing all 3 of them. You know what I mean? And its scale effect is that if you have a card in your other scale, you get to pop that and then add the same and add 1 card from your deck, same name. So yeah, he triggers a lot of stuff in this deck. So that's it for the PePe engine. Now for our spell cards, we are of course playing 3 copies of Wavering Eyes, of course being still one of the most powerful spell cards in this deck thanks to the September ban list. Then we are playing 2 Duelist Alliance, 2-star Pendulum Graph and 1 Pendulum Call. I like this ratio. Of course, 2-star Pendulum Graph, if one gets destroyed you get the other, and it's if face-up Magician leaves your scale, you get to add, or you know, if face-up Magician leaves your Pendulum scale, you get to add another Magician from your deck. You can activate once per turn. Pendulum Call being able to just get your hand sorted, but you know your scales can't be popped or anything like that, so that kind of sucks. Of course, Wavering Eyes, this being of course a really powerful card with combined with Star Pendulum Graph, just being able to get 2 searches off, maybe even 3 searches off for Wavering Eyes, the Pendulum monster, and of course a Magician with Star Pendulum, and resolving 4 with Wavering. But you know, you're normally popping 2 with Wavering, but that's fine. And of course, Duelist Alliance, this searches out your Pendulum Graphs, your Pendulum Sorcerer, or your Lost the Pendulum, which is really good as well. But of course, you gotta have something in your Pendulum Zone to activate that. So yeah. Then for our 2 trap cards, of course, we're playing 2 copies of Time Pendulum Graph. One of the best cards of the deck, because this is just, people call it a win condition. I wouldn't call it a win condition. I just call it a driving win condition factor, because if you don't know what it does, is that your opponent cannot target spellcaster monsters you control with trap cards or effects, and then you can only use this effect to Time Pendulum Graph once per turn. Destroy 1 card in your Pendulum Zone or your Monster Zone. Destroy 1 Pendulum monster in your Monster Zone or Pendulum Zone, and then destroy 1 card your opponent controls. If it's negated, you get to draw 2 cards and then send 1 card from the field to the grave. So yeah, really good. And also the second effect doesn't technically target. I'm pretty sure, but yeah. So this just helps put the nail in the coffin for a lot of games. Okay, so that's it for the main deck. 40 cards, solid, everything like that. Now for the extra deck for the Link monsters. We are playing 2 copies of Deco Talker and a Proxy Dragon. I honestly think this is one of the best things at the moment. I mean, just opening up free link zones is pretty useful. Built-in protections with these 2 as well. So yep. And also they're really easy to make out in this deck. For our fusions, we're playing the 1 Starving Venom and the 1 Dino Mr. Power. I had the rare guys. I'm sorry, I don't have the super. But yeah, so if you don't know what this does, is that it requires 1 Draco Slayer Pendulum monster and 1 Pendulum monster. So it's generic, I guess, for this deck. And you don't use polymerization, it's contact fusion, I guess you can call it that. But basically, once per turn you get to special summon a Draco Slayer monster, a Draco Slayer Pendulum monster from your hand or graveyard, but it cannot be used as a fusion material, which is really good because it just helps get link plays and stuff. And its other effect is that Pendulum monsters in your zone and Pendulum monsters in your monster zone and Pendulum monsters cannot be destroyed by battle card effect by your opponent's card effects. Yeah, so he has protection, and of course Starving Venom just for stealing your opponent's effects. I mean, once I stole Masterpiece effect on this, and because I had continuous spells and traps, I was able to pop his stuff. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then I actually want to keep him around. He does do piercing damage. Now for the Synchros, we of course have the 1 Omega, 1 Black Rose because we can make it, the 1 Ignister, and the 1 Clearwing. So yep, the 4 Synchros. Of course Omega being what you're normally going into, so you can snipe that card out of your opponent's hand. Black Rose because you can make it with Time Star Magician, pretty sure it is. Yeah, no, Time Gazing Magician, that's right. Yeah, so that's really useful for him, just being able to nuke the board. And of course Ignister for non-targeting removal, and Clearwing just being able to Raigeki your opponent's stuff on its summon. Now for the XZs, where the bulk of our cards are at, we are playing 2 copies of Time Star Magician. The 1 Big Eye, because you know you can actually use it in this deck really well. 1 Majesty, 1 Magister Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer, and the 1 Supreme King Darker Brown because you can make it and it's fucking ridiculous. So Supreme King Darker Brown, for those who not know, is a Darker Brown XZ Dragon on crack, except for the one thing where it actually doesn't keep the attack. But what it does do is that it makes that monster lose all of its original attack and then he gains its original attack, which is really good. And it's a quick effect. No, that's the other effect that you're never going to use, which is returning it to extra deck, and then special summoning Supreme Gate, something like that. Time Star is really powerful because you attach 1 and you add a Dark Spellcaster from your deck to your hand, or face up extra deck or graveyard to your hand. So he helps recycle stuff. And also, if Pendulum monsters, cards in your zones or scales would be destroyed, you get to destroy 1 spellcaster from your deck instead, so again helps trigger more destruction effects. And of course Big Eye being able to take control of your opponent's stuff, and even if you're not doing that, being able to make a 38 Big Eye that does double battle damage is really powerful. And of course Magister Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer. This is basically a Time Star Magician, except instead of the 2 Magician Pendulum monsters, he's just 2 Pendulum monsters, but you do get to add a Pendulum monster, but that's only during your end phase, and you get to detach one from him, and then special summon a Draco Slayer monster from your deck. So yeah. So that's been this deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Shit, hold on. Okay. So yeah, this has been my my Pendulum Magician PePe deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a fun deck to play around. It's not as powerful as pure Pendulum Magicians, but it still can make some pretty good boards, especially with your Draco Slayer monsters and Ignister, and especially Luster Pendulum being MVPs. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye.